Hello, happy Tuesday. My name is Sydney Allen. I am the Director of Planning and Zoning. We are located on the third floor in this beautiful building. And we are going to talk to you today about the comprehensive plan update. It's a big project that our division is taking on, and we're excited about the finished product and the process and hope to get everybody here involved in it today. But we will go ahead and get started. Sorry, technology's hard. Quickly, what we will go over today, I'll introduce our staff. We'll go over what exactly a comprehensive plan is, a little bit of planning history in the county, and then kind of our process for the plan, what we've done, what we still have to do, which is a lot, and then what's next and how you and the rest of the county can be involved throughout the process. So, planning and zoning is part of the resource management department. Like I said, I'm Sydney, and then I'll introduce today my three planners. Amber Ryan, she's our senior planner, and then Mark Meads and Michael Foster are also planners. We also have code compliance, Jim and Jake back there. They are part of planning and zoning as well. So, just a quick history of planning and zoning in the county. Contrary to what a lot of our citizens believe, we've actually had planning and zoning and regulations for quite some time in Greene County. So, people oftentimes will call our office and be totally shocked that there is a list of things they can and can't do on their property and regulations for how and what they can build on their property. But in 1964, planning and zoning was approved by county voters. And then shortly after that, the first set of zoning regulations was written and approved. In 1975, the county became a first class county. And shortly after that, we revised the zoning regulations. And so upstairs in our office, we use that 1978 date a lot. If something was done prior to that date, we kind of have a different way of handling it. But 1978 and forward is kind of what we look at as far as zoning regs are concerned. In 2009, the county adopted a land use plan. Um, and that really went over what the citizens felt like, how development was occurring. And then in 2018, that plan was updated. The Missouri State University Planning Department used that as kind of like a practicum project, and they updated that plan and that map. So the Greene County Planning Board, we meet once a month, but when we are looking at applications for rezoning or conditional use permits, we reference that future land use map to make sure that whatever they are recommending for approval meets kind of the idea of that future land use plan. And so, what is a comprehensive plan? So, comprehensive plan is kind of step one to everything else that we will update and do in the future. It's not the same as a zoning ordinance or zoning regs or a land use map. It's a long range document that really lays out the goals of the county of development, goals and objectives, how we're going to do it, and then what we assume or what we think based on feedback the development is going to look like moving forward. We'll use maps, graphics, text, lots of different data to put this together. Um, and updating the plan gives us the opportunity to also look at what we've done and where we've come from and how things have progressed over the last several years. We will look at the municipalities' urban growth areas. So each city within the county will play a part in our plan. We have to know what they're expecting to occur within their boundaries or how their boundaries will change in order for us to be able to accurately plan how development will occur around each of those municipalities. So we'll work closely with all of the cities within the county. But once we get through the process and the plan is adopted, that's really what will guide us when we are looking at regulation updates and then when we look at any type of application that comes through from a citizen who wants to make a change to their property. So key themes of the comprehensive plan, we aren't just looking at current land use and zoning. We're looking at growth, future growth, and past growth. We're looking at transportation and infrastructure. So we'll look at the highway department's major thoroughfare plan. What are they planning on? New roads that are going to go in, how that will affect development in each of those areas. And as far as infrastructure, we'll look at, each of the cities, how they are going to grow their infrastructure. We work with the city of Springfield a lot regarding municipal sewer, because development tends to occur where those sewer lines are located. And so we have to make sure we know the plans for that so that, again, we can accurately and responsibly forecast the development in that area. Parks, recreation, and open space. We are blessed to live in this beautiful county that has a lot of those opportunities. So we want to make sure that we, again, are protecting those and also allowing for the future growth and development of those things. Environmental sustainability and resilience. Also in our county, we have a lot of things like sinkholes and floodplains. And so we need to make sure that we're protecting our property owners that have those features on their property. Housing and neighborhoods. We see, again, zoning applications come through every month, and a big topic of discussion at these meetings is affordable housing. It's a key topic that I think a lot of local governments are trying to address to help people. And so we want to be very cognizant about that and make sure that what we are doing at the county level really helps people be able to have affordable housing options and, whether they're going to live there or develop neighborhoods that way. We just want to make sure that we're aiding in that progress instead of holding people back. Economic development, obviously, we want new growth in the county. It provides jobs and many other things. Public services and safety and historic preservation, also very important. So Amber will talk a little bit about the timeline of the plan and what we have done so far.
Good morning. So, yes, we've got just a general timeline of what we're looking at up here. So we've already initiated our project kickoff. Earlier in September, we had our first kickoff meeting, and I'll let the boys over here talk about that a little bit more. But we introduced all of this. We had a similar presentation to the community. We had several people out and join us. We're working with IS on doing a website. So we're going to have a page where everyone can go and see all of our updates. Currently, we're working on our community engagement and visioning. We have a survey open, which we would encourage you all to take after this. And we've also done some similar activities with our public hearings or our public meetings. Our next goal is to be getting a focus group together. So we're going to be looking at community members who are wanting to be involved in this process to help us develop some draft goals and what we want to see in our future. So we are also working on some existing conditions and data analysis. We're looking at our most recent census. We're looking at some budget reports, and we're getting together just what exists today. After we get all of that information, like I said, we're going to work on draft goals and strategies. We're going to have one for each of those topics we talked about. And then after we get that together, we'll get a draft comprehensive plan. We'll send that to our planning board. They'll take a review at it first, let us know their thoughts. We'll get it to our focus group. We'll send it out to the public for review, what they like, what they don't like. We'll refine that plan. Eventually, that plan will get adopted. The planning board will take a look at it, make sure they like it. Our commissioners will make sure that it meets our goals for our future. Then it gets formally adopted. Once adopted, then it's going to be a matter of implementation, making sure those goals are happening, making sure we're meeting those on the day-to-day when we see those rezoning applications, when we see citizens coming in. And the next step would be updating our zoning regulations. So it's a long process, but we'll get there. Does anyone have any questions about the timeline? Okay. Next, I'll let Mark talk a little bit about our current data collection and analysis.
Good morning, everyone.
Good morning.
So I know Amber said that we started formally in September, but our data collection really started back in June and July when we started reviewing a number of information points to try and see how we could refine a whole host of demographic economic information into survey questions. So we looked at existing plans from similar jurisdictions. I know we reviewed Lenexa, Oklahoma City, Christian County recently produced a new comprehensive plan. We looked at some of the other KC suburbs, some other Springfield suburbs, just to see what they were doing to try and create a similar plan that looked good and was informative and had similar action items. So we reviewed all of those. We've also been consulting an in-house book of edits and changes that for several years, whenever there's any sort of planning or zoning action that we might have had some sort of disagreement or different interpretation with the regulations, we made a note so that whenever we are looking at this new process to refine our recommendations, we actually have some sort of informed analysis to look at and see the actions that previous planners would recommend. We also looked at, like Amber mentioned, the census data to look at where are cities growing, how are they growing, what population groups are growing. Data USA was another very informative website. They look at median household price, insurance coverage rate, home ownership rate, median age, median salary rate, just to see where growth is occurring, how it's occurring, where different folks are finding jobs, where they're finding homes. And that's important to see as we eventually grow out and try to reach those different jurisdictions to see where are those population centers actually at. And that helped us inform what questions we want to include on the survey. There we go. So eventually, using all that information that we gathered over 2 to 3 months, we eventually designed the survey on SurveyMonkey. It comprises of 9 different sections. The vast majority are multiple choice questions or Likert scale questions to rate your favorability on different points. The 9 sections include 33 questions. It takes roughly 5 to 10 minutes. I think folks found it convenient to use it on their phone or the iPads that we provided out of public hearings. It made it quick and easy. There are only a couple of free response questions, and looking at the responses that we've gotten already, most folks just wrote a couple of sentences just describing things that might not have been included in the survey, but they really wanted us to know. And the response has generally been pretty positive. Most people have comments on how they want to see the county grow. They're good recommendations. They're good thoughts on things that we're already doing well, like the parks, like the libraries, being communicative with citizens. So I think it is comforting to see that there are things that we're doing well. There are points that we can improve on, and the survey is identifying those. And eventually, when we conclude this survey, whenever we have given everybody in every jurisdiction an opportunity to complete the survey, call us to see if there are any points that we might have missed. We'll look at all of the responses and eventually create some actionable recommendations that Amber said we can include in that comprehensive plan to give to the planning board eventually. And here are just a couple of sample survey results. I know the last slide said right now we have a little over 280 responses. It's been open for about 2 months. The vast majority of responses are from Springfield, which makes sense. That's where the most dense population center is. But we would really like to see in the next month to month and a half if we can reach out to those surrounding neighborhoods, find different cities that might traditionally be underserved or unserved by county services, reach out to them, see how we can maybe get their feedback, see what points we could improve on for the next 10, 15, 20 years. Some of the sample survey results that we've got so far, 35% of respondents are 55 or older. And that makes sense. I think they've lived in the county, have the most informed opinions on what kind of change might have experienced in the last 2 to 3 decades, and they want to see either continue or change in the future. 75% of respondents both work and live in the county, which suggests that we're reaching the people that are most impacted by what we do and will continue to do. 50% supported expanding buses, trails, and bike lanes. One of the questions was, what sort of transportation methods would you like to see expanded? Looking at different new alternatives that other larger cities might have, like carpools, like Lyfts, like Ubers, like commuter trains, buses, trails, and bike lanes the county is already servicing, but we could see if we could expand those to reach citizens that might need to get to their jobs or get to different public amenities. And then 85% want growth inward at vacant properties. One of the questions that we asked was, where should these growth patterns occur? Should it go outwards towards these jurisdictions that are traditionally smaller right now? Should it go inward and build up? And it looks like most folks want to see inside our incorporated cities or around the incorporated city limits find vacant lots that haven't been developed and build upwards so that we're not creating or disturbing our natural resources. We're just using the existing land that's been zoned commercially or is available for new larger developments. Let's grow upward. Let's not destroy the resources that we have. We'll continue to look at these survey results, see how they change. Hopefully we get another couple hundred, hopefully we get 1,000 responses. We'll see, that really change our results and continue to show what the county wants. I think the feedback has been good so far. Folks like the iPads, it's interactive, and I think they are appreciative that the questions, I recognize that 33 questions can be a long survey, but it really gets to everything that they might have an opinion on. And we're interested in that. We want to see the new ways and the new things that we can improve on for the next few years. So I'm excited about it. Hopefully the iPads you all enjoy as well. If you know anybody, please tell them to take our survey because those results will be very important as we refine our regulations and write our comprehensive plan. I think, Michael, are you up next? Heck yeah.
So in addition to the survey, we also did several public engagement meetings. We think that it's really important to engage with the public throughout this plan update because we want to make sure that we're speaking to the county, not speaking for the county. So we held 3 meetings where we went out into the field. First was in Rogersville at the Chamber of Commerce. The second was at the Willard Fire District. And then the third was here at the Election Center. And we had pretty good turnout at all 3 of those meetings. We started each one with a presentation pretty similar to the one that we've given here today, going over just what we're going to be doing, what the update process looks like, and what that implementation will result in. We had at these meetings different activities for people to do, which you all will be participating in a few minutes here. We had dot activities where people can identify what they think we do really well, what they think we can improve upon in general categories. Then we had opportunities for people to write on sticky notes their concerns and things that they really love about the county as it exists. And then in addition to that, we had iPads with the survey, and in those written response questions, if people had more detailed things that they wanted to say, more than you can write on a sticky note, we gave them the opportunity to submit that there, or they could just talk to us and we could, take their feedback that way. We also had our current future land use map, our current zoning map, and our environmental maps, just to sort of let people know where we are as a county right now. We had a good amount of engagement with people that showed up. A lot of people were asking good questions, and a lot of people were just, like Sydney said earlier, interested to see, that there is this much going on with planning at the county level. And I'll turn it back over to Sydney.
So just in a quick wrap up, what do we need from you all and the public in general? Really, we just want to get as much engagement and conversation going as possible. I think it's pretty clear we hold the citizens' opinions and ideas at a very high level through this process. Like they said, we want to make sure that what is generated from this process is truly for the county, not just what the 4 of us think sitting up in our offices that this should look like. So if you could encourage folks to visit the website, to take our survey, we would be greatly appreciative of that. And feel free to reach out to us. If you think of something, shoot us an email, come upstairs and chat, give us a phone call. Like they said, we are cataloging everything that we hear from people, and we'll use that when we are finishing up this process and creating the document. So are there any questions for any of us before we get to our little activity?
So Sydney, I want to thank you and your team for taking this project on. I did take the survey. I was anticipating going in that it was about planning and zoning. And it's so much more.
Yes.
So the feedback that you all will compile and get from this will be valuable to our live, work, and play in Greene County for decades to come. So congratulations on such a worthy project.
Yeah, thank you. yeah, we're really excited about the survey results, and we know that like we will use it in planning and zoning, but once we're through this process, if any other division or department needs to utilize that information, more than happy to pass that along. I know Mark and Michael worked really hard to make sure that the survey was quick-ish, but that the data that we get from it will be really useful for us and the county in general. So we're excited about it.
So, I live in Fairgrove.
Okay.
So do these outlying smaller towns have generally a planner-like position? Or would I, if I have thoughts, or would I just go directly to you guys? Do the outlying towns have like some sort of
Yeah.
mini planning?
So the question was, do all of the, or most of the municipalities within Greene County have planning and zoning? Some of them do, some of them do not. The Groves do not. They don't have a planner on staff. However, we do have open dialogue with the city itself. And then I know that the Southwest Missouri Council of Governments out of Springfield, they do a lot of work with the smaller communities as well. And so I believe they just had a comprehensive plan that was generated for Fairgrove from SIMCOG. And so I guess I would say you can start with us and we can reach out to them, or maybe an alderman or a mayor of Fairgrove could lead you in the right direction as far as a more local contact. But I know that the Groves don't have a planning and zoning staff, but definitely we can help kind of facilitate a conversation if we need to. And again, the Southwest Missouri Council of Governments is a fantastic resource for the smaller communities as well. Any other questions? Someone asked if the survey was available. Yes. We have the QR code and the link, and you can click on that and take it online. If anybody needed a paper copy, we're also able to provide that as well. And then, but yes, it is available online. So if you all would participate, we would love that. Like Michael mentioned, we have some things up here. So we can start passing these out. We have some dots. And the idea is that everybody gets three, get 3 red, 3 green. And so you will prioritize. So what does Greene County do well? That's where you'll use your green dots, and you get to pick 3 things out of this list that you believe that the county does well. And then with your red dots, it's where can the county improve? So you'll pick your top 3 out of this list. They're the same list on either one. And then we have some Post-it notes and pens over here if you want to write a general response to a concern that you can think of, or something that you, again, believe we're doing well that maybe you want to elaborate on from these lists. That would be great. And then we have 3 iPads over here that have the survey up and ready to go. If you haven't done it yet, you can take a couple minutes to complete it for us. So, yeah.
Just thank you to you and your team, because you guys have your job, and it's a full-time job, and then you've added this on top of that. So thank you for doing that, because that benefits this group, the group that works here, but it importantly benefits the entire citizens of Greene County in thinking about where are we headed in the future, and how, as this team, can we best serve the needs of our citizens. So thank you. You guys are really stepping up and doing a great job.
Thank you. We're excited about the opportunity. It's kind of what, we go through school and we talk about comprehensive plans, but having the opportunity to actually do one and go through the process and write one, we're excited about. Might take a little longer because we do have our everyday duties, but we've got a really good team, and we're making it a priority so that we don't drag this on longer than necessary, because we do feel like the sooner we get this done, the sooner we can update our zoning regulations, which is really going to impact the citizens in our day-to-day. So we're very excited.
Well, you might also mention, we've got other outside groups that want to participate, and you've reached out to.
Yes.
The farm, they want to know what's going on, and they have some thoughts and some inputs. Other folks like Lore, who's doing, they're kind of a regional expansion and growth group. They also have some input thoughts. And so I appreciate that you guys have reached out to really anybody that might be an interested party. Hear everyone out, try to make a comprehensive plan that takes into account everybody's ideas and thoughts.
Feel free, stand up, stretch, have some dots.
Yeah.
Who needs red?